Our guest this morning is a woman with a passion for fashion. Now, she is a young entrepreneur, wears many hats, but today we will wear the fashion hat together. Her name is Grace. Good morning, Grace.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Do you always wake up this early?
Yes.
So we didn't wake you up?
No.
Okay.
But I mean, I was a little bit anxious considering I didn't want to be late, even though I always wake up really early.
And yet you were here on time. There you go.
Thank goodness.
How has fashion influenced you?
I think a lot of who I've become plays a huge role in, well, fashion has played a really big role in that, because I'm a firm believer of, you know, people have, they have a perception that they have of you when they see you through your clothes. So, you know, and people look at me and they're like, okay, you look, you know, put together. You look like you have your life in order. I'd rather have you guys think that because of the way I'm dressed, such that it's easy for me to believe at the end of the day that, look, people say I got it, so I got it, and I look like I got it, so I have to, you know what? I have to have it.
Yeah. You know, that's very interesting, because, you know, a lot of the times so there's a popular saying, never look like your problems.
Yes.
But we don't actually take into consideration what putting yourself together entails.
Yeah.
And it's not just a process. As somebody who is in fashion, and as you interact with your peers, what are some of the tips that you give them on making sure they are, you know, presentable for whatever occasion it is they're trying to go to?
One of my secrets is, you know, people, you know, when you get your hair done, I'll give that example. When you get your hair done and the hairstyle's looking fresh, it's relatively new and you're not sure how you feel about it. I've always told myself, girl, own it. Even if you feel like you look horrible, own it. Because no one else is gonna make you feel bad if you don't feel bad.
Right.
So if you own it, even with your clothes, if you make people feel, and if you assert that, look, I know what I'm wearing and I know I look good, everyone else starts to take you that way. So I think that with everyone around me, it's like, look, that's the best way to get things going, because the minute people start seeing that you're actually comfortable and you feel confident in your clothes, then they will not make you feel otherwise, because they can see it's in you already and they can't take it out. So,
okay, now that I've loosened you up, who is Grace Ngadze?
So Grace is a age. I will not say that on screen. Let me just say, Grace is a young woman, passionate about women empowerment, about fashion, about marketing. I'm also a firm believer in God, lover of God. Everything I do is driven and is led by God. So I'm basically the most simple but most complicated human you'll ever find.
Oh, describing every other woman out there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
When you look at your background, did you ever see yourself in the spaces that you're in now?
No.
How did you get yourself here?
God, that's number one. I can't even say, because I don't even know. Half of the places I've been already at my age, it's like I cannot even say I did this right or I did this wrong or it's this person or that. It's just God putting me in the right places at the right time to meet the right people that will, you know, say your name in a place where you're not, and then next thing you're like, oh wow, really me?
Yeah.
And it's like nothing that ever happened in my life led for me to be here. But I can say that I did a lot of public speaking and a lot of, you know, debate. So to some extent, I thought I'd be in places where I talk. So I just wasn't sure where.
Well, but
I just knew
they'd be talking.
Yeah, they'd be talking involved. So I was like, okay. So I think, yeah, for me, it's major. It's God. Yeah. Straight up.
Yeah. Now, you know, for a lot of young women out there, they're like, okay, well, how do I position myself, or how do I even figure out where I want to go in the first place? Because it's not an easy or conventional environment that we're operating in.
That's true.
And here you are with several hats, running different dimensions of businesses. How do you keep it together? If you do keep it together, and if you don't, how do you put it back together when it falls apart?
There's days when it's not easy. I'll tell you that. There's days when I'm like, am I sure? Is this what I'm doing? Is this what I want to do? But I think, you know, when I was growing up, a lot of people used to talk about purpose. Know your purpose. When you know your purpose and you find what you love, it's easy for you to say, look, I love this. And you can wake up every day, even on days that you don't feel so strong, because you love it. So I think just being able to understand, look, this is what my purpose is, this is what I love to do. It's easy for you to then just say, okay, I'm going to do this so effortlessly because you love it. You know, so I think if most young women can figure that out, it will, you know, stop them from getting into rooms or places they're not supposed to be in because they already know what they want and they know their purpose in life. So I think that would be, you know, my advice for that.
I love that. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. But before I let you go, how are you taking care of your mental health?
I'm actually, first of all, I've learned to put my phone on Do Not Disturb at 7:30 p.m.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a skill I need to learn.
Like, you know, at first I used to be like, why are people putting phones on Do Not Disturb? What do you, no. But now I value it because I rarely have time to rest. So like I said, my day starts really early and usually I'm getting home at like 5:30 and I'm so worn out already. And this is just from the job, you know, the 9 to 5. And then I want to do my personal stuff. So if I don't manage my times and if I don't put it on Do Not Disturb, I will not get anything done. I will not be able to rest because everyone will have their little story and it's like, look, I love you, but I also love me enough to know that I need to rest.
And
so
it's
I think,
okay for me to
and
take
it's
that
okay for
time.
me to take that time, exactly. So it's like, I think if you just learn to do that, you'll be good to go. And also don't pressure yourself. Like, it's so easy nowadays to just fall into, you know, depression because you're like, oh, this person is doing that. I'm not doing this right now. When am I going to do this? When is it going to be my turn or whatever? But if you know, just close that up and just say, look, I'm taking each day as it comes. Every step of the way, I'm, you know, being patient with myself. You'll find that you'll be good to go and you will actually maintain your mental health a little bit better.